Hi traders, and welcome to the Technical Analysis Market Watch on Friday the 30th of January. I've seen some amazing moves this week, especially on the dollar index, and a couple of the currencies have been affected that we talk about each week. So we'll jump straight into the charts and see if we can identify any trades for today or early into next week. So we'll start out here with the Aussie USD, and we can see we saw some explosive moves right off that that zone that couldn't get broken, actually around that sort of 67.50. Then once it did break through late last week and early this week, it just continued to really romp on. The last look, it obviously hit the 70-cent mark, which was our target previously. Hit that very easily, and even in today's candle you can see that we've got a very big long wick on either side of the trading. So the range of the day was very big, all the way up to nearly 71. I think it got to 70, well, basically 70.90, and also 69, sort of 80 on the or about 75 actually on the downside. So very big range for the day, but it ended up effectively where it opened, close enough to a perfect doji. So really good moves. I think that we've got to be a little bit mindful now that it has hit support here, resistance now, which was support previously. So yeah, what it does now, whether it pulls back enough to actually give us another entry point to get in, most take profits would have been already hit at that 70-cent mark. So you can either get in if it pulls back and then turns around on a smaller time frame, so it starts to trade higher, low, or if it does obviously reverse here, we'd be looking for maybe a bit of a pullback to probably the 20 moving average when it eventually catches up. But I'm not overly keen on jumping in on such an aggressive trend when it does actually move up and push so high, because obviously it has had some very big power behind it. Dollar index has got a lot to do with that. We will check that out in a second, but be governed by what the dollar index is doing, of course, as well. But if we do see a reversal here at this resistance, look for around that sort of 69.50 to 69 area as the potential support, especially if the 20 moving average catches up there. But really good moves. I'm not keen on going much longer until it proves itself above this level, so I'd like to see it do a little bit more in terms of push up. But if it tests this level here and finds a bit of consolidation, then we'd be looking for the previous high again. So I think we can handle that one okay. The next one we'll have a look at is the US dollar yen. This one saw a very sharp fall, very similar to what the dollar index did, but it did fall over at the resistance point around that sort of 159. So it was already starting to show the signs of a little bit of weakness at that point, and then down it came, of course. It came down in a very big hurry, but it did land on a support level where, yeah, if it was going to find support, this was the area it was going to find it, that's for sure. It was around that 152 level. The 150 to 152 is a very strong level, and has been historically. You've got to zoom out quite a bit to see it, but you can see right through here, this area here was, yeah, quite strong support through this level around late 2024. And also in February. You can go back even further, you'll see quite a bit of price action at this level here. Very heavy resistance here in 23. So it is a very important zone. It did bounce up a little bit from the landing, so obviously it kicked up and found a little bit of support at that level. If we're looking for a rebound, probably the 154.80 would be the target I'd be going for on this one. I wouldn't be going much further than that in terms of strength until it actually proves itself, especially if the 20 moving average catches up and gets down there as well, because that's going to provide quite a significant resistance wall. So let's see how that one goes. I think if we can get up to that level, I'd probably be looking at potential trades up there. If we see a series of higher highs and higher lows on a smaller time frame, I'd be looking at taking advantage of those and pushing up to around that 154.80 to 155 as a target, especially if the 20 moving average is there. And if it starts to show any weakness whatsoever there in a reversal of so smaller time frame, lower high, lower lows, then I'd be looking at trading back down to around that 152. But there are some good ranges forming on the US dollar yen. I think we've got some good opportunities coming, so hopefully you're able to take advantage of some of that. The all-important dollar index, this was the one that absolutely fell off a cliff, you could say, this week. It already started weakening last week, but this week was something else. We haven't seen a move like this with gaps on the dollar index in quite some time. It's been a very big move. It found support where it needed to find support. I tell you, it wouldn't have wanted to go much lower, and it's pulled itself back up to a level around that sort of just above 96, where it has bounced off quite a few times. You can see it obviously fell past that level, but the last couple of days of trading trading have pulled it back up at around that sort of 96, just under 96.50. So it's imperative that it actually holds up here in terms of where the dollar index is going, because if the dollar can't hold this level and doesn't start to push up, the downside from it can be quite significant from this level as well. So I wouldn't short it on the first break like we have now. Obviously the 96 is starting to hold up, but if it does start trading underneath 95.50 and it pushes down any further than that and closes on a daily, then we're going to start looking at very important levels. It's got to go a long way out to actually see that. You can see here how far it actually goes, all the way through here. So you can see we've got support at, and we're talking about way back in 2020. So that's why it's very important that it holds up here. And if it does, then we can look at a rebound potentially to the 20 moving average around that 97.80. That would be the first target I'd be aiming for on the rebound. But failing that, if it does break lower, probably around that 92.93, amazingly, would be the target. So I think the play here is just to give it a little bit of time, see if it can consolidate above that at 96 level. And if it does and starts to trend higher, just aim for the 20 moving average and 97.80. I think the target on the upside would be the easier target. But if it does break down and close lower than 95, then we start targeting that 92.50 to 93 zone. So very big moves on the dollar index, and it's going to be very interesting to see where it lands now that we've started to see that big push. Gold is another big one that we can basically, it had a very big doji candle today. Look, it hit an all-time high again, all the way to 55.90. Big move. Look, every time we look at gold, it seems to be just going up, but it has actually, it did try to go down a little bit. It went a big swing, actually, nearly a $300 swing when you look at it in dollar terms. And it did reverse quite significantly. And it's basically caused a major doji candle with big wicks on both sides. Obviously, you can see the really big range that we've got in terms of the daily range. It's closed. It was going to close effectively where it opened. So, not a lot of action in terms of the open and the close. But by golly, there was a lot of action in between. I think this is definitely a wait and see. If you want to trade gold, the best way you could do it is to trade inside the zone of those ranges now. So if it starts to trend higher on a smaller time frame, aim for the previous high around that 50 or nearly 5,600. Incredible to think how fast it's moved up there. And if you want to trade on the short side, which you would want to be very precise if you are going to try and go short on the gold trade. You want to be making sure that you're getting your stop losses really tight and watching it carefully, because the way it goes up, it's an extraordinarily strong trend on the way up, and you certainly don't want to get caught on the wrong side of it. So just be really careful of that. But I wouldn't be going any lower than 5,100. That would be the aim that I'd be going for on gold. Really good trading though. I think that there's it's been really good to us for quite some time, as you know. Big range today. But if you want to play inside the range of the previous candle, that would be the two targets I'd be aiming for. But just on the short side, be very careful that you don't get that rebound and it starts pushing up, because at any time now this could rocket up, and like it has been recently. So just be really careful with that for very good trading. The final one we'll have a look at is oil. Oil's been another one that has been hitting all the targets, really. We, like I said last week, and I think I've been saying in all the streams, once we got past that 62.50 level, the 65.50 was going to be the target, and it hit that today. I think it went as high as 66.50. It had a very big move. It was promising to do it, though. It's not like we're not going to be surprised by this, because it was promising that it was going to have a good run after the high low sequence. Bounced off the 20 and the 50, obviously, like we hoped it would, and when it did, it broke to a new high, and then off it went. And in terms of trading, look, even on a 15-minute chart, I think you can go back, you can see here, it's as easy as trading gets. We'll pull back to the 20 moving average, the thing we talk about all the time, all the way up. You can see pull back to the 20, pull back to the 20, pull back to the 20, and of course it hit its target at this level here. Went a little bit higher, but again, we never really worry about what we've left on the table in terms of how quickly it's got there. We're happy with the target that we've given it, which is really good. Very happy to see it hit that 65.60, because it's been promising to do so for quite some time. Hopefully, with a little bit of luck, now it'll consolidate around that level, and because it's a very important level for it, you can see that there is quite a bit of resistance there. I wouldn't be in a big hurry to short it, but if it does start to roll over and we start to see a series of lower highs and lower lows, I'd be aiming for that 62.50 again as a target and look for a potential bounce off that level. So if we get a bounce off that level when it comes down, then look for the previous high again. So I'd be playing inside that zone. I'd let it prove itself on the way up first. I wouldn't want to really get into a move any longer than this until it gets up there and retests it from above. We want to see a bit of consolidation around that level. So both ways to play it, back to 62.50 or even up to $70. But we want to, the $70 is going to require a push up higher than this and a rebound for me to get excited about that. Well, thanks for joining us this week. Hopefully you've had a couple of good trades. We've seen some really, really big moves. It's going to be a very interesting next 24 hours to see what the market does. But we're starting to get some good trades or some good direction for the trades that we've been looking at. So hopefully you're able to take advantage of some of those targets because we had some really good ones hit this week. Have a fantastic weekend. I look forward to seeing you all next week.